Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course Communication Theories 2. Today I will discuss with you a topic types and needs of a research. First, I will talk about the types of a research, then I will discuss with you the needs of a research. You should know that educational research is classified into basic research, applied research, and action research. The basic and applied research are differentiated by their purposes. The primary purpose of basic research is the extension of knowledge, whereas the purpose of applied research is the solution of an immediate practical problem. However, some misconceptions have developed with the use of the terms basic and applied research. One such misconception is that basic research is complex and applied research is a simple in its methodology. A related misconception is that applied research is often sloppy and of a great practical value, whereas basic research is precise and exacting but no use in a real situation. Likewise, one type of applied research is action research. Action research is usually conducted by teachers and administrators for solving a specific problem or for providing information for decision making at the local level. Effort has been made in this lecture to highlight the actual role played by basic research, applied research, and action research were their characteristics. There are different objectives of educational research. As after watching the lecture, it is hoped that you will be able to explain the nature and concept of a basic research, describe the characteristics of a basic research, and to discuss the nature and a scope of applied research, and then differentiate applied research from basic research. And I will explain the nature, need, and scope of action research. Also, I will specify the different aspects of the process of action research, and then to identify the limitations of action research. Let's come to basic research. This type of research is also regarded as fundamental or pure research. It builds up broad generalization, principles, and theories of education. It results in the discovery of useful concepts such as those of motivation, reinforcement, concept formation, etc. It is not concerned with day-to-day problems. The basic research has different characteristics, like it aims at developing educational theories and principles that will be applicable to a broad population. Also, it requires expert training. It makes use of a wide range of methods to locate the research problem. Highly specific hypotheses are also developed in this research. It involves careful attention so that error is reduced to the minimum. It calls for a complex analysis of data. The generalization usually remain confined to books and research reports. In 1986, a scholar, his name is William, he has very rightly stated that a sound theory increases the fruitfulness of research by providing significant leads for inquiry, by relating seemingly discrete findings by means of a similar underlying processes, and by providing an explanation of observed relationships. However, this research is done by the outstanding experts with the help of desired facilities. It demands a higher level of problems, procedures, tools, controls, and analysis, etc. It is expected to be more expert, uh, as it has far-reaching consequences. The next is applied research. This type of research is also called functional research. Education, like medicine, is an applied science. In 1987, a researcher, his name is Walter, he stated that the primary function of research in education is in medicine to find improvements for education or medicine, both to be understood as the fields of human actions, not as fields of knowledge. Applied research doesn't aims at solving the practical problems which are faced by the teachers, educational planners, administrators, or curriculum specialists, etc. Applied research deals with problems of practical value, and it also is less rigorous than the basic research. Applied research involves both the classroom teacher and the research specialist. The comparison of applied versus basic research is I will discuss with you. Like it is argued that in a country having limited resources, research should be given a practical orientation. Research that don't have show apparent relevance to the solution of practical problems are considered an unnecessary luxury. The contrary point of view asserts that in the absence of sound analytical concepts, there are obvious limitations to the extent to which applied research is possible. Not only with the lack of conceptual refinement, improvised analysis, and limit methodological sophistications, it will also result in constructed perceptions of cause and effect relationships. Unless applied research is taken to mean the publication of facts through simplistic tables of percentages and averages, like a job which can be done on the existing capital of the social sciences in Pakistan, there is no gainsaying the fact that the basic research is an essential base for the development of applied research. Apart from the fact that basic research doesn't have application as its immediate goal, the two are deeply interrelated, particularly in the case of the social sciences, whose concepts and theories derived from the analysis of social reality as in an ongoing process. The next one is the action research. Action research is the process by which practitioners attempt to study their problems scientifically in order to guide, correct, and evaluate their decisions and actions. This is called action research. There is no doubt that research work done by professional students of educational research is seldom noticed by the workers in the actual field of action. Now it is increasingly being realized that the practitioners of education must be involved in a research work. Action research is a step ahead of common sense approach. A good teacher doesn't merely depend upon tradition or experience of others or recommendations of expert bodies. In action research, he is deliberately more systematic and scientific in dealing with the problem. A useful definition of action research is the research a person conducts in order to enable him to achieve his purposes more effectively. A teacher conducts action research to improve his own teaching. A school administrator conducts action research to improve his administrative behavior. There are different sources of problems for action research. Uh, the first important source for locating and electing problems for an experiment or project or research in the classroom itself. For example, a teacher who finds that the performance of the students in mathematics in his class is poor, he may think that perhaps it is because of his method of teaching, which is not helpful in developing mathematical abilities, or it is because the students are not making use of the instructional material, or it is because the students of the class lack speed of calculations. The second source for identification problems for an experiment or research is the staff meeting of the school. The third source is the chairman of department or regional director who can suggest to students problems for enhancing the classroom efficiency. The institution's library seems to be an important source for locating problems for research. Sometimes the Ministry of Education or some national agencies dealing with the education throughout some new problems for experimenting in the institutions. For example, department may conduct an experiment to see whether the suggestive activities in the new syllabus are effective to achieve the desired outcomes. Next type is a historical research. The use of historical sources and techniques in the field of educational research is known as a historical research method. Historical research justifies itself when used to find out the solutions of the present day problems on the basis of the experiment of the past. However, the value of historical research in education is that it inspires respect for sound scholarship and reverence for great teachers. The history of education enables the educational worker to fades and frails. The history of educational enables the educational worker via present educational problems in the light of their origin and growth. Past educational experiences may serve as a basis for tentative generalization and analyzing current educational issues and problems. It is based on reports of observations which cannot be repeated, or you could say it is liable to be subjective. In history, rational process of analysis and inference is verbalized. Science predicts the future course of events, and history uses preserved evidence to retrospect the past. There are three main steps involved in historical research. The first one is the collection of data through primary and secondary sources. The next step is that it involves external and internal criticism of the data collected. The third step is the presentation of facts, which involves problems of organization, composition, exposition, and interpretations. Next type is the descriptive research. This type of research is also called normative or a survey research. It concerns itself with the present phenomena in terms of conditions, practices, beliefs, processes, relationships, or you could say the trends, and variously terms as descriptive survey. Normative or trend study, or you could say descriptive research. They have different characteristics, like it is concerned not with the characteristic of individuals but with characteristics of the whole population or a sample thereof. It collects data from a relatively large number of subjects. It provides information useful to the solution of local problems. Its scope is very vast. A survey may be qualitative or quantitative. Descriptions may be either verbal or expressed in mathematical terms. In solving a problem, one has to evaluate the present conditions and then seek information concerning what we may want and how to reach there. Normative or a survey research may involve one of, more of these elements in different situations. This type of research helps in locating existing problems and securing historical perspective through a series of cross-sectional pictures of similar conditions at a different time, in suggesting the course of future developments and developing many tools and contributing to the advancement of knowledge and in providing the background ideas and data from which many more studies may be conducted. Next type is the experimental research. In 1992, a scholar, his name is J.W. Best, he describes experimental research as the description and analysis of what will be or what will occur under carefully controlled conditions. In 1954, another scientist, his name is V. Good and E. Skatz. According to them, experimentation is the name given to the type of educational research in which the investigator controls the educative factors to which a child or group of children is subjective uh, during the period of inquiry and observes the resulting achievements. The essence of an experiment may be described as observing the effect on a dependent variable of the manipulation of an independent variable. However, the experimentation and education is useful to determine and evaluate the adequacy and effectiveness of educational aims and objectives through the measurement of outcomes. It serves as a basis for the information, execution, and modification of educational policies and programs. Control is the basic element in experimentation. The influence of extraneous factors that are not included in the hypothesis are prevented from operating and confusing the outcome which is to be appraised. Let's come to the need of a research. There are different points that justify the need for educational research, like rapid expansion and democratization of education. Need for research and education to improve educational policies and practices is being realized increasingly. Research and education has assumed greater uh, urgency because of the very rapid expansion and democratization of education throughout the world during the last decade. The next need is the technological changes. The rapid technological changes have brought in an increase in educational problems, and both laymen and educators have felt that they can no longer depend upon trial and error. Next is the new demands on education. With the educational research, it may not be possible to develop new curricula, new teaching methods, and new teaching materials to meet the new demands placed on the educational systems of the world. Like currently, we are delivering online lectures to you people. It means that the teaching method has been changing. Next is the interdisciplinary approach to education. Education is a growing science, and its foundations are to be explored for a study of the subject as an interdisciplinary approach. It is therefore almost imperative to study education and its proper perspectives. Next is the knowledge explosion and the need for educational research. World has witnessed an unprecedented explosion of knowledge, since education depends on corpus of knowledge, and the need for research arises to study the changes in various disciplines and to make a necessary adjustment in educational philosophy, programs, and policies. This means methods and machinery of education need change in the light of a progressive social and changing economic, political, and social setup. I think that's enough for today. Thank you so much for watching my video lecture.